have no
fucking know.
idea.
Yeah, I'm so
you
glad.
should know. The Jews have a million holidays.
Yeah, well, nothing communist, you know.
Yeah.
Although we were around at the beginning of it. Steven cut the Jew part, whatever I just said.
Oh, Stephen, the editor?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll let him make a decision. He's Jewish himself.
I mean, I just think that, like, I think we're in a good space right now, you know?
Jews?
No, us.
Oh, us.
Us as buddies.
Yeah.
You know? We've spent all our money, but it doesn't really feel bad.
It doesn't feel bad at all because you got to find, I mean, that's, maybe the purpose is the search itself.
Yeah, it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Yeah. So you fall off the wagon. You know, you don't want to pretend to be a Chinese guy, but you do it anyways because you started doing it years ago out of a disdain.
I'm not faking laughing at that.
Disdain for the thing that you do in its totality.
Mm-hmm.
You hate comedy, so you're like, I'm going to do the worst version of it.
Yeah.
Because to mock comedy itself, not even mocking racism. I don't give a fuck. You can be racist if you want. But I fucking hate comedy, you know? But then I became a millionaire off of it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, I can do whatever I want. It's like, what do I want to do? I guess pretend to be a Chinese guy working at the iPhone factory.
But also,
it's sort of like that old parable about the old man, you know, he grew up in a fishing village and he had to fish and he hated it. And then he moves to New York and he becomes he works at a quant fund.
Yeah.
And he becomes
He's an old man when he gets a job in banking?
No, he grows up.
Okay.
Gets a job banking, and then he goes back to the village.
Yes.
And now he's paying money to fish or something. You know that story?
No, I don't. Yeah. What is
Mark
that?
Twain.
Like Mark Twain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird that Mark Twain never got his hands on the Chinese. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'd feel a little bit better if we got a little bit of, you know.
Yeah, what do you mean? Like there wasn't a...
Because Mark Twain
wasn't like a beep.
Mark Twain was like racially as sensitive as you could be.
There wasn't like a... There wasn't like a Jim character of Chinese. Yeah.
Like, you know, like Mark Twain. But the thing is like... And I've heard people make the argument. They're like, well, if I went back in time, like, I don't know if, you know, they either say they would be against slavery, and then sometimes people do, they're like, well, would you? Because most people weren't doing anything, you know. But I feel like,
well, there
you'd have to be pretty fucked up to even in 1860 to be like, yeah, some people should be beaten and enslaved.
I guess there were people doing that, though.
They had fucking telephones at this point. I'm pretty sure. It's not like this was like, this wasn't Gladiator.
Yeah, well, they fought a war over it, though, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
So there were, you know.
I don't think anybody really deserves a pat on the back for not being racist in the 1860s. Or at least understanding that, like, this is bad, you know. But they're not working with, like, the broad palette of races we have today.
I see what you're saying.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, fucking go back to the 1860s.
There was just one type of other guy.
Sit down with Mark Twain.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, there's Dominicans and Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
And he's like, you mean Mexicans? And it's like, no, pal.
There were Mexicans, I guess.
There were.
Yeah.
A lot of them. They had their own war.
Yeah. Santa Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mexican-American War. Boy, crazy that Mexico thought that they even had a fucking chance.
They tried to come for this.
They thought there was something called, they heard Mexican-American War, and they thought, yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Let's go.
We'll see what
let's
happens
try.
here. Yeah. We'll see.
Well,
I guess America didn't really have the track record it does now.
Yeah, it wasn't a superpower at that point.
Yeah.
It was kind of a redneck country at that point.
Yeah. Mexican-Canada War. Now, that would have been
that would have been fun.
I'm still got my fingers crossed for that one.
Yeah. Well,
fucking Jeff Bezos, make it happen. Whoever decides the next war. Yeah. It's the Davos guys, right?
Is that what Davos is?
Yeah, it's Klaus, what's his name? Davos. I don't know. These are all things I read.
Klaus Barbie?
About. What?
I don't know.
Klaus what? Klaus Kinski?
Klaus Kinski?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other Bowie.
Klaus, do we know any other Klauses?
Klaus Barbie, the Nazi.
Klaus Barbie. I always thought that was a funny name.
The Butcher of Marseille. Is that what they called him? I only know that from the movie Rat Race.
That's also where I know. Damn, I could see whatever came out of your nose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very dusty in the studio because of up
Yeah.
there.
Well, we're
not
not
going
gonna
to say what it is.
Look, folks. Making a stage in
This
the
is
studio,
killing us.
It takes a lot longer. I gave it a month because I was told that's how long it would take, and it doesn't look like now the lights are all fucking up across the.
That's scary.
That doesn't look good.
Anyway,
I wish we had another. If we could get, maybe we'll go 5 camera setup. That way we can see. Is this building about to fucking explode?
no, I just think those lights are flickering.
Yeah.
It'd be so funny if we died right now.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I don't have
Take
I don't
a
have
sip of that coffee.
I don't have the costume on anymore, so I'm not like too worried about it, I guess.
Maybe, like I was saying to you the other day, maybe you had to drink and feel bad from it to know that you can't do it. So that you romanticizing drinking and falling off the wagon.
Well, I only really did it for the show.
I don't think I don't want that kind of burden or responsibility.
No, I don't mean like I did it
You did
to
for
write the
me.
monologue. I did it for a sense of realism to do the joke where I fall off the wagon
Yeah.
to write the monologue. So I was like, if I'm going to do this, then I have to start drinking again for real.
Yeah.
So I know how it feels. Everything
Yeah.
has to be real.
You know
That's
that
the thing. That's the thing. I've been getting really into Heat 2. I've been reading I've been reading Heat 2. That is correct. Why did he call it that?
I
Have
don't
you
think he
seen
wrote it. I think it was the lady that co-wrote Heat with him.
She's still alive?
I think it was a lady that wrote it.
That's crazy.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think he got a woman to ghostwrite because there's 2 names. There is a co-author on the thing. But if you look
Is
at
it
the
Michael
cover,
Mann and
if you look at the cover of the book, it's just the cover of Heat, and then they put 2 after it. I mean, it's insane.
just make it a movie, dude.
Don't even make it a movie. Just don't do that. Whatever that is, don't do it.
I'm not gonna read it.
Can you
I'm not
imagine
gonna
if
read
Steven
anything.
Spielberg was like, I wrote a book, it's called Schindler's List 2. Can everyone take this seriously? My
Yeah.
new project, Schindler's List 2?
Yeah, it's kind of pathetic, but it doesn't seem like a cash grab because it's a book.
When
You
I was
know
in
what I mean?
elementary school, I remember when Titanic came out on VHS.
Yeah,
Remember, Titanic's a very long
it was
movie.
2 VHSs.
2 VHS tapes.
Yeah, I remember at Blockbuster.
And this dumb Korean kid was like, yeah, there's actually a Titanic 2 where Jack comes back to life, and I actually have it. My family bought it.
you believed him?
No, I didn't believe him, but I mean,
That's the worst lie ever.
I know that kid would lie all the time.
The boat
It's
sank.
Elementary school kids, the boat sank, but they're like, yeah, they bring Jack back, and he like made it up, and he's like, no, I can show it to you. I have 2 tapes. His family bought it. They got it at Blockbuster or whatever, and he saw that there was 2 tapes, and he was like, I'm going to impress everyone at school by saying I have a secret second. And
It's
I
not even
guarantee
a
you,
good brag.
I guarantee you this Korean kid's synopsis, on the spot synopsis of Titanic 2 is as good as Heat 2 without even seeing the book.
That's probably, I guess, I would put money on that.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I can't
What a
imagine. There's
fucking
no way,
loser,
even
that
if you
kid.
get somebody to ghostwrite
Uh-huh.
that book. I wish we had the. What are you doing? You upset?
No, I'm not upset, dude.
Oh,
No,
I wish
no.
we had the book. I wish I had read some of the book. Unfortunately,
too?
I spent the weekend reading James Carville's new book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing new in there. No new information.
Oh, it's
but-
everything you already knew.
Yeah, it's kind of stuff.
It's kind of boring. I
Yeah,
hate when
yeah.
that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he explains, like the kind of stuff he had to do to get to
Uh-huh.
where he is, and
Yeah.
how it eventually permanently changed him. And
It made him better as a campaign manager.
Yeah. It's sort of like how you don't really have any options in one avenue, so you're forced to do really degrading, sick, kind of depraved stuff
Mm-hmm.
because you're ugly, and
Yeah.
girls won't fuck you. So you have to do, you have to do certain things to get ahead in life.
Right.
And he did them. And then in retrospect, he says, well, fuck it. Maybe this is just who I am now.
Yeah.
And you say, well, maybe it's all who I always was.
So it's like if in the movie Cruising, he just becomes gay at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. James Carville had to go undercover.
As a gay.
Yeah, as a
Yeah.
toilet, actually. he was a cop. A lot of people don't know this, but James Carville, before he was a pollster, he was a cop.
And there was a string of gay murders.
They're like, so there's a guy going around and they call him the piss killer.
Uh-huh.
He kills people and then he goes and he takes a piss. in the woods.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to need you to dress up like a toilet
Uh-huh.
and wait in the woods, the
Oh, wow.
Louisiana woods.
And that turned him gay?
And just if you see guys out there, you try and suck the piss out of their dicks. And he said,